Hello everyone and welcome. We're actually not going to be doing much in the game today. We're going to be looking at a different site, ChatGPT. A few years ago, I did a video basically putting ChatGPT to the test on whether it knew the ins and outs of Forge of Empires and its great buildings. I didn't test it very much further than that, but I wanted to revisit it because obviously it's been a couple of years and it has probably evolved somewhat. So just as a reminder, this is what it originally responded with when I asked the question, what is the best great building to build in the mobile game Forge of Empires? And first it had its little, there's no single best great building, which is false. Best great building is the Ark. But it did list the Ark number one, which is good. But then it said that the Ark provides a bonus to the number of goods, metals, forge points, and military units earned when contributing to other players' great buildings. That's not true. For those of you that play the game, you know that it's only metals and forge points and blueprints that you earn when contributing to a player's great building. It can also provide a large number of forge points when leveled up. That, I don't know where it got that. Cape Canaveral, this building allows you to train units of a higher age than your current one, which can give you an advantage in battles. Cape Canaveral, of course, just provides forge points, so that was incorrect. Cathedral of Aachen, this building provides a happiness bonus and can be a good choice for players who are struggling to maintain their city's happiness. Cathedral of Aachen, first off, provides military boost. Does it? It doesn't even provide happiness either. It produces coin production, or it boosts coin production. So that was incorrect as well. Statue of Zeus, this building provides a bonus to attack strength when attacking or defending. I believe that's true. Making it a good choice for players who enjoy participating in battles. Okay, so Statue of Zeus did pretty well. Tower of Babel, this building provides a bonus to the number of forge points produced per hour. False. Which can help you level up other great buildings more quickly, which would be true, but it doesn't provide that bonus. So, as we can see, it didn't do very well. So, just the other day, I posed the question again. I said, what are the best great buildings in the mobile game Forge of Empires? And so it gave a little bit better of a breakdown. So number one was still the Ark, which is good. Greatly boost rewards, forge points, blueprints, and metals when contributing to other great buildings. Correct? It accelerates your progression, especially when sniping, which, to each their own. I'm not a fan, but if you want to snipe, that's correct. Arc helps with sniping, and it is essential for all players. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Alcatraz produces unattached military units daily. Yes, correct. Essential for guild versus guild, which unfortunately is no longer in the game. PvP, arena, and battlegrounds. Yes. Combine it with other military grade buildings for huge armies. Perfect. I would say 8 out of 10 because it mentioned guild versus guild. Cape Canaveral gives daily forge points. Yep. Reliable forge point generator with a small footprint. Helps level all your other great buildings. Okay. Castel del Monte, forge points and attack boost. Also correct. Dual benefit of forge points and military strength. It's efficient and compact. Maybe not compact. It's a 5x5. I guess compared to other great buildings in the game like Arctic Orangery and Alcatraz and stuff like that. I mean, even Ark is larger. So sure, we'll call it compact and efficient. 8 out of 10. Statue of Zeus and Cathedral of Aachen, both at number 5. Attack boost for attacking armies, and then it mentions the big 3 attack great buildings: Zeus, Aachen, Castel del Monte. Okay, very nice. And then it gives a breakdown of the different great buildings in the different sections, different themes, I guess. So the combat themed, there's the Kraken, chance to kill a unit instantly in battle. Yep. Arctic Orangery adds critical hit chance to your troops. Correct. I would have placed Arctic Orangery in the top 5. I think I did that when I did my revised list of great buildings. Terracotta Army boosts attack and defense, bolds and, because some great buildings do not do both, which is true. And then Himeji Castle gives a chance to win rewards, forge points, goods, units from battles. That's correct. It also puts Himeji Castle down at the forge point powerhouses. I honestly would put it more towards that, even though it's only a chance of getting forge points. You often get a lot of forge points, especially at higher levels when you're doing a lot of attacks, and especially when you can get 200 forge points after one battle. All right, so I skipped this section. The economic and utility grade buildings. Chateau Frontenac increases quest rewards. Fantastic for recurring quests. Spot on. Innovation Tower provides population and forge points. Great for space management. I think that's correct. Seed Vault, chance to get rewards when aiding others. Passive income potential. That's correct as well. All 3 decent great buildings. Chateau Frontenac, I believe, also is listed in one of the top great buildings. So, Forge Point powerhouses, Cape Canaveral, we covered, Castel del Monte, we covered, Himeji Castle, Observatory. This is the first time that it is actually incorrect. Observatory does not give forge points. It does give guild goods. It's correct on that. But it doesn't give forge points. I don't know why it would be called a forge point powerhouse. Blue Galaxy can double building rewards, including forge points. That is correct. Blue Galaxy is definitely a top grade building. Defense focused. Space Carrier adds defense and boosts for attacking army. That is incorrect. Let's look at the Space Carrier gives diplomatic gifts and it produces special resources. So that unfortunately is also incorrect. Deal Castle gives daily units. That's incorrect, but it gives defense boost. It says PvP arena. It's just defensive boost across the board. Best great buildings for beginners. Zeus, sure. Observatory, sure. Lighthouse of Alexandria, sure. You can get it earlier in the game with blueprints. It boosts supply production and gives goods. Yep, that's correct. Castel del Monte, also an earlier one. Early forge points and attack boost, that's right. And then the Arc. And like it says, as soon as you can get it, as soon as you can trade for blueprints and goods, get it. Great. Then it has a strategy tip. Build the Arc as early as possible. Level it to 80 plus, and benefit from sniping, powering up faster, pair it with Cape Canaveral, Himeji, attack buildings, all that stuff. So not too bad. So at the end of this, I was impressed, and I said, do you have sources for these lists that you've compiled? Because, like I said, a lot of it was correct, but some of it was incorrect. So I wanted to see where it was getting its information. And so the first source that it listed was the fandom site, forgeofempires.fandom.com. And I guess there's a tier list on that site, and that's where it gives, the top 5 or top 10 or maybe all great buildings all listed out. So that was interesting. The Reddit community has some feedback, and so it took from the Reddit community. Reddit obviously said Arctic Orangery, Blue Galaxy, the Trinity, Frontenac, stuff like that. So that's probably where it got the good stuff. And then fan-made tier lists. I'm not sure what tier maker is. I've never heard of it before. But Royal Albert Hall is not a great building that I would put in any higher up tier list. And you can kind of see, here's how these support the recommendations here. Supporting the source, S tier, all this different stuff. So down at the bottom, I then noticed that there was this button here that said sources, and it shows, the fandom site and Reddit. So I pulled that up, and it comes in on the right side, and along with the fandom and Reddit and tier maker, there's also YouTube. So I was looking through some of the YouTube videos that it's taking information from, and what do you know? Here's my video. Top 5 great buildings revised. So, along with, other very well-known YouTubers and Forge of Empire creators. So I'm impressed. I think that ChatGPT, I would say 90% of the time knows what it's talking about, has good information. I guess it is only taking from sources. I wouldn't say that it is generating its own opinions or its own information. It's basically just taking from people that have made these lists before, like myself. Um, and so when it says, would you like a tailored advice based on your current age or your main focus, I'm questioning how it can do that. I'm assuming that it's just going to look at articles and YouTube videos where the creator has already done it and they're just pulling it from that source. Um, Thinking about it now, I'm very surprised that YouTube videos, I guess it's just listening to the audio of the YouTube videos and it's just pulling information from the YouTube videos, because otherwise it's taking from the comments of the YouTube video, which would also work. I think there's a lot of comments on my, that video that I showed on my channel where a lot of people list out their own, top 5 and stuff like that. So it might be doing that. But anyway, I thought it was very interesting. So I I may look a little bit more into ChatGPT. I'm wondering if you have used ChatGPT before on, Forge of Empires or even any other game that you've played before. Let me know in a comment below. I'm very interested in hearing your experience with AI and mobile gaming or gaming in general. So thanks very much for watching. That's the end of this video. If you have any other comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. And as always, keep on jamming.